Hello, Persona 3 Reload is my favourite game of all time. It is portable worth it in 2025. Let's have a look. Alright, I want to kick this off by saying a few things. One, my experience of portable comes from an emulator on phone. Okay, because that is the way I wanted to play it. The only other way I see playing it is if I get it on my Xbox, but I don't need to because I have Reload and I'd much rather play Reload. But Portable came out ages ago, I'm not going to hold Reload against it. Let's get on. Alright, let's talk about the first thing you're seeing on screen right now, which is combat. Portable definitely holds closer to Fez than Reload, but with a couple of differences. The big one being is that your party members are now controllable, which was a first for Persona 3, whereas the first game and Fez both relied heavily on the tactics menu. All around, the game acts like a Persona game. It's everything you need to know. It's built all around the one more system. Some party members are definitely different to Reload if that's what you want to base it off, more akin to Fez. For example, Junpei isn't that great in this game, whereas in Reload, he's a top 3 character. All around, I believe this is the easiest section to talk about. It is literally just a Persona game. It's the least touch element from the original Persona 3 to port it into portable, so therefore it's good. Some stuff does remain, for example the tired system, which I'm not a huge fan of, kind of just limits the game. The option to split up is also here. I think this is a good feature. I would have liked to see this in Reload as well, but it kind of got replaced with the scouting. In the combat, you're getting what you expect from a Persona game. This is good. Let's move on. Where Portable begins to slow down is its limitations. To get this on the PSP, what they had to do was gut the game of any cutscenes, any of the familiar like 3D cutscenes, things that you get in between like fighting and shit, to change it into a visual novel. Now, obviously, I can't knock the game for this. This is how it had to be to exist in the first place. And in fact, if you're watching this video, you might like visual novels better, and therefore you might like this game better. But it's important I bring it up because I believe this drags the game down quite a bit. Some scenes will definitely not hit as hard, such as Shinjiro's death, Akihiko's reaction to Shinjiro's death and his awakening of his second persona. And also, since Reload's come out, I know I'm mentioning it a lot and it's a bit unfair, not having voiced social links as well as not having like animated cutscenes for them anymore is really hard to get through sometimes, especially ones I've played as well, such as Kenji here. I literally just I couldn't be asked to read any of this. However, this does slightly change later on in the video when I get to the massive change in this game. For me, if you're looking for the best representation of the story, it's definitely not here. The UI is also different. You're no longer in this like behind the shoulder sort of shot or from the top up in the original games. You're on this like bird's eye view where everything is just static and you get this pointer cursor to press on people. This isn't bad, it's just a bit strange to get used to, especially on mobile, which I'm playing on. Okay, I've talked about this game's troubles with its technical limitations, but how does the story still hold up? I did mention earlier that this is the worst representation to play, but is it still decent? And the answer to that question relies solely on what you like. For me, I have already experienced this story across multiple versions, multiple times. Reload and Fez. Now, the removal of cutscenes that I mentioned earlier is a massive loss, but the skeleton structure of the stories is still there. I believe if you like visual novels, you will like this representation of the story, but if you've played other versions, you're going to find it quite weak. But like the story in most games, it's up to your interpretation, so you get the game, you say how you like it, and let me know in the comments. I also wanted to touch on the music. It's perfectly fine. Every one of the classic songs is in this game, and they even introduce a lot of new ones, but for that we're gonna have to talk about the big thing. Let's get into it. Now, when booting up Portable, you might have noticed one big thing: woman. Now, if you're looking for new content solely alone, this is worth the purchase. Not only are we getting a female protagonist, we are also getting new music, new social links with different people, brand new characters in fucking general. Tone is sort of like a different character to Makoto, so therefore your dialogue options are also different. An amazing choice to have if you want to play it. So, we've mentioned the big stuff. What is my final thoughts on this? I didn't want to go too in-depth because I want people to experience the story for the first time if they haven't. So, is the game worth it? Of course it is. This is Persona 3 we are talking about. Any version of this game will always be worth it. And for me, this is perfect, right? I get to play it on my phone through emulation. If you agree with that or not, I don't really care. But for much smoother experiences, you can just get the game on Xbox, PS4, PC, PS5, Xbox One Series X. It's everywhere these days. I think the Katone stuff or the female MC stuff, it on its own just makes the game worth it. But anyway, it's time for me to actually go buy this on PC because I'm 100%ing every Persona game. Ooh. For me though, where this game shines brightest is the fact I can play it on my phone, meaning I can play Persona 3 anywhere I want, and despite the fact I'm not a big fan of visual novels, always want to play this game. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.